Hello and welcome to the Modern Endpoint Management. I'm Matthias and I'm sitting here with Nicklas as a OC, official contributor to this group. So hello, Nicklas.
Hello, Matthias.
Nice to see you today. So
you too.
Nicklas, let's know about you, your name, age, personal status, and where you live.
Yeah, sure. My name is Nicklas Ahlberg. I am 34 years old. I have 3 kids. One is 4 years old. Second one is 6 years old, and the third one is in the oven. In February I will have a son. So yeah, good times. So I live in Sweden, in Malmö. Yeah. So that's me.
Congratulations, Nicklas. 3
Thank
kids.
You.
That's a busy man, and of course wife, if she's your wife and not your girlfriend. Yeah. So yeah, I have 3 kids myself. So,
so you know you know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Your first job.
My first and not easiest job, but I love to come to my desk and drink some coffee in peace.
Yeah, that's necessary for sure.
Yeah. So you live in Sweden, and where Sweden is a very long country. Where is you located? Where are you located?
Yeah. So the region is called Skåne in Swedish. So basically the most south part of Sweden, so close to Denmark. So Malmö is located just really close to Denmark and Copenhagen. What is it like? 1 mile, Swedish mile, Danish mile, something like that.
And that's 10 kilometers.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh. Give or take.
So you know something that Skåne was actually a Danish part back in the days.
Yep.
So we are actually Danes, right?
Yeah. I hear that all the time from my Swedish colleagues from other parts from Sweden.
we have a little island in Denmark called Bornholm, and they talk like a mix of Danish and Swedish, right. So it gets Bornholmsk. Yeah, maybe Skåne is more like Bornholm.
And that's what my other Swedish colleagues say that I do as well. So,
okay, yeah. So enough
Danish.
Yeah, that's cool. So how long have you been in the business, Nicklas?
I would say for must be 10, 11 years now in the IT business. Well, I started off like a help desk first line. We call it as a Adidas technician. We need to run around, change monitors, keyboards, cables, all the good stuff. And now I'm working with devices and identity and security, of course. That's closest to my heart when it comes to my professional life.
Yeah. So I like that approach. You say you've worked as a help desk member, and you've tried to help users with their problems. So you know what's out there. You know that the level of IT is quite it's quite wide.
Yep.
You have some that is very low. You have some that is quite high, and you gotta help them all, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so having a open mind and like to teach and stuff like that, I believe that's a part of the help desk, right?
Yeah,
So once you move on to a role later in life, you like have that ballast in your work life, and I think that's a good thing to have and know about how it was like to be a help desk and identify you with the users that need help to leverage the work that they are hired from the company to do, right?
right. So I have a figure of speak when I come to in my professional life. I work as a consultant for some and my bigger customers. They have their own help desk and first, second, and third line. And I really think if you need to pick one best friend, pick the first line as your best friend, because they have both feet on the ground. They both ears to what do you say, the rail, and they hear everything. They catch stuff from the end users and so on, because if you need to pick one best friend, pick the first line help desk technician.
Exactly. And if you, like a consultant, have added something or project to a customer, and then you want to know from the first level, right? Because if there's something that's not working properly, you could automate or do some better. Then it's the first line who's taking these punches, right?
Yep. Exactly. They get all the tickets and calls and so on. So for sure, you need to stay close in contact with those two to make it as good as possible for everyone. It's not we can't hide, behind our screens. We need to visit them, take both feet on the ground and check the surroundings for we can't just how do you say this, check for reports and so on and measure stuff. We need to actually see it happening in the surroundings and for our end users as well.
I agree. Yeah, you have to blend in, right?
Yeah, sure.
So what do you like to do in your spare time, if you have any? I mean, 3 kids very soon.
Actually, my hobbies, they have like the COVID pandemic. Barbecue and brew beer, stuff you can do at home, which takes a lot of time. You could just start the barbecue smoker early morning, check it for lunch, just to make sure temperature is correct and so on, and well, then you have a good meal in the evening. And the same goes for beer. It's just a lot of time. It takes quite a few hours, to clean stuff and prepare and so on. Working from home for 2020 that year for sure were good for my hobbies. Just to
So barbecuing. So would that mean that you consider yourself as a good chef?
In my mind at least. For sure, I like what I cook, but I mean, I have some new colleagues. So now we have, we need to get together, because in Sweden, at least after the pandemic, the country is opening up, allowing us to get together more. Hopefully we can get together for a good barbecue, and I'll let you know the feedback from them. Now all the feedback is from my daughter and son and wife, of course. So
yeah, and kids and food. We all know that they know the good stuff, right?
yeah, for sure. At least they tell the truth, otherwise they will just spit it out. So
yeah,
they don't lie about it.
No. No, that's nice, Nicklas. Any other spare time things
well,
you do?
I try to work out, to do some running. I'm not a gym guy, but at least try to stay in shape. For all the barbecue has a downside. Shirts start shrinking. They don't write that in the cooking books.
No, they don't. Eat
No.
less and
Yeah. So running. Try to go out like that.
how many times a week?
If I say 4, I lie. Probably 2 or 3. That's best.
We go with 5 then.
Yeah, 5 days a
5
day.
days. Yeah.
5 times a day. No,
and a
2 or
marathon.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a good thing, I believe, because IT jobs, sitting down all day, and all the stuff that comes with a day job sitting in front of the desk.
Right.
You have to do some gymnastic or some stretch out or something physical, because your body is not created for sitting here, right?
No, we're not supposed to be still a whole day.
Nope. So it's really important to get out there.
I
sure. Fully support you on that matter. So great. So Nicklas, we haven't heard what company you are working at currently.
Yeah, so I work at Cyagte, part of Telia company. So and Cyagte is a consultancy company within tech.
Okay.
So and not just Microsoft. We are the whole segment. I would say from network communication to managed services in SOC and so on, and of course Microsoft 365 into configuration manager and so on as well. So
I think we have mutual friends here. We have Simon Binder, who is an VP as well, and he just joined Cyagte, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so we are really happy for that. Of course.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and I guess he's also into some Linux stuff, or isn't he the penguin? Yes.
He's everywhere. He's good at everything, I would say.
Yeah, he and I have been in Tivoli, the Danish.
Right. Yep. Copenhagen.
In Copenhagen, yes, and that was really fun. We were out eating and talking, so that was nice.
Yeah, cool.
Looking forward to see him again, and of course you as well. That barbecue sounds really, really great, Nicklas. So, yeah, Cyagte is a consultancy company, and you're abroad. I can understand.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that 2020 you worked from home. So is that still so, or have you joined the company?
Yes, we have. I mean, we have had some meetings and so on, some physical meetings at the office, and of course, as I am a consultant, I am supposed to be working with my customers. So I have spent more time at my customers' offices, but as the country is opening up, and right now more and more offices is allowing us to come back, and so yeah. But I try to work remotely, probably 2 or 3 days a week for now, at least, and we'll see in the future. Before the pandemic, I worked from home 1 day a week to do some admin stuff. All the documentation and so on, where you just need to stay in the zone and So yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we are working in a good line of business when it comes to working from home. So we're really lucky, I would say.
Indeed.
In that regard.
So I mean, network people like plugging physical stuff, they are not that lucky, right? We who can sit here on Teams and having a conversation and actually do our customer jobs.
Yep.
We are much more lucky or fortunate in the way that we can work and software projects, etc. So yeah, we are. I believe that the future is the future workplace will to get the best people they need to like have in the contract 2 or 3 days at home, because people want this freedom as not getting to the office every day, because like you said, you have some documentation work or you have some scripting that you need to sit and have focus on that. It's just better at home because you can turn off that Teams and then you can just focus on what you need to do, right?
Yeah. But to me, that's really important to really focus on and to stay in that zone. And of course, it's really important to go out there and meet people as well. But sometimes, I mean, 2020 did show us that it works. So yeah, let's see what happens. And as a company, Telia is allowing us to do that.
That's great.
That's really good.
So if you should put a number, how many hours do you put in a week?
Both professionally and off hours, or
I would say all the blog contributions and stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
So I work probably 8 or 10 professionally on a daily basis, and probably 2 more hours when it comes to community stuff on a daily basis. Sometimes it's 0 hours, but the next day is more. But on a week, probably it would be 2 hours on a daily basis, so to speak.
Yeah. So a weekly hour number would be like, is that 50 hours or how much?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So my schedule is to when we get the kids home, then of course play with them and so on, and when they are asleep, then back to the computer and then check on some series or TV show and so on later the same night.
Yeah. So evenings you sit here and you spend time with me. So
exactly.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. So Nicklas, when did you become a official contributor?
It must be about a year now. The first ones out there, I believe so. It must have been, when was it? November or December 2020, I believe. So give or take one year.
Yeah. And have you found out that your posts is like seen more than it was before, or how did
for sure. To me, it made a whole lot of difference to get that recognition. So yeah, I mean, it's a really great community, that group. Everyone is helpful, and if someone disagrees, then they tell you why. They don't say this suck and then they move on, because I've seen that in some other groups and forums and so on. No one is everyone is really professional, I would say, in that community group. So yeah.
It sounds like Facebook, no offense, Facebook, for this is awful, and then they just out of here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you say, it's more professional because it's LinkedIn. It's just a whole another place to be, right? People are here to work.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and of course you don't always have to agree with everyone, but you can have a good conversation about it and argument. I mean, in my opinion, this would be better, or and that works out really good in that group, I would say.
So what happened the day that Angel reached out to you and said, "Hey, Nicklas, you are awesome. We need you as a official contributor, and here this contract. Would you like to join?" What was it like for you to get this?
I mean, so my official contributor was actually from I was awarded for that competition we had. The most. It was one year ago, I believe, and basically you had to post in some duration of time, and then they would count all the reactions, likes, comments, and so on, and then I came as a second winner.
Wow.
For that one. So that's and then thanks to that, Angel asked if I was up for the OC, and of course I was really happy because that's some new stuff to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly, and this group is it's just expanding and expanding. So I guess when you were awarded, there was like maybe 7,000 or 8,000 members of this group.
I believe 8.
8,000, yeah.
Yeah.
And today we are counting 14,650 members actually right now.
Yeah.
That's a crazy expansion over 1 year.
Yep. For
And
sure.
that says something about the group, right? There's a lot of potential in here and a lot of people sharing, and it's great stuff.
Yeah, and there's some really good. I mean, it's not only the OCs who contribute, right? Because everyone shares in a really good way. Could be they on a blog post they have seen. They don't necessarily have to write it themselves. To just want to share something that they found important or interesting. So they thought of, okay, I'm going to share it to the group. Maybe someone else can take, some interest in this as well. And me, that's what it's all about. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. I like that wording, phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the question, what do you think about the group so far? We've been through, and let's go on to the next. So if you were not part of this group and you would like to seek information about the newest available tech in the MEM space, where would you go if you didn't have this group?
I mean, the tech community group and all the blog posts as well in that area is really good. But to get someone else's opinion on it, I would probably look at Twitter, because that's where, I mean, all the tweets are at. People are sharing concerns about new stuff, or giving thumbs up and so on, and giving feedback back to product groups and so on. So Twitter is a really, really good place as well to find info about news. It's probably not where you read about a news for the first time, but to get everyone else's opinion about it, there did it work or did it not work? Why didn't it work? And so on, to read on conversations and so on. So yeah. So tech community and Microsoft official docs and so on, and Twitter.
Yeah, I sometimes get lost in those Microsoft docs because there are so many. I guess config manager docs are totally crazy because it's such a large product. So the Intune environment it's much easier to get through and read. But I guess it has its both its qualities, because having the Intune docs, it's a whole cloud service, and you have no clue what happens behind the curtain, right? And on the config manager side, you have your SQL, and you have your Windows Server, and you have your Internet Information Services, etc. So there's stuff you can go and look at, and you can actually see what happens when you click a button and stuff like that. So yes, at least for me, it's a kind of a brand new world opening up. So you mentioning the docs is pretty interesting, because it's very important to go to the docs, because what's in the doc is what is supported on the platform, right? So when you at least as a consultant, you need to know what's in there, because otherwise you could bring your customer into a scenario that is not supported, and we don't want that, right?
No.
But it's important for the customers as well, and the companies out there, because this is how Microsoft want you to use the product, and if you use it otherwise, well, you can get into a unsupported state, and maybe there are no path back from there. So you should really know what you do, right?
Yep.
So a great tip there, Nicklas, to go to the tech community, which is on Microsoft site, and the MS Docs and Twitter. And of course, the primary group would be this modern endpoint management on LinkedIn. Of course, we can't say otherwise. So Nicklas, you already went through some of the areas that you like to cover, but tell us about, do you want to go more deep on devices or identity, or what? Where are you? Are you more broad, or what do you like?
So I would say I span over device, identity, and security, Microsoft 365 security stack, because I mean that's where it's at the moment. I would say when I speak to a customer, 9 times out of 10 it would be about that stuff. So of course, demand is from my customers, or our customers, is of course a huge player in where my focus area is at the time. So I mean, it could be one day you're looking into enabling TLS 1.2 in Azure AD Connect, and the next day you're onboarding servers to tenant attach and MDE. So to me, that's really, I mean, it's all services, but it's really a broad area. So it's still really, you can still be and stay creative, even though a lot of it is just services that you're enabling. So to me, that's really some good times. And of course, I have a background in configuration manager, so being creative with that stuff, application packages and all that stuff, that's really cool as well.
Nice. That's really nice. So yeah, Microsoft 365 is a very broad system, and it's very hard to be expert on every subject there. But yeah, I guess some of us can cover a lot, but going deep into the system. That's very hard on a very broad scale, right? Yeah. So, Nicklas, you have created a blog, and I guess that the one blog you got the most votes of was the one that got you the OC, and that was something about Autopilot. So is that driving a car, or what is Autopilot, and what is that blog about?
Yeah, so the idea came from our deploy center, and at Cyagte. So we saw that when we went from using our F12 finger, as we call it, in our deploy center to run task sequences, do the OSD, the good stuff, our customers went to a more cloud-based solution with Intune or MEM and Windows Autopilot. And one step to actually be, technically be able to do an autopilot is to upload a hash from a device, and then you will assign a profile and you will provision the device with apps, policies, and config and all that good stuff, branding packages maybe as well. But doing all that stuff manually takes a lot of time. You have to plug in a USB device to get the hash from the device, go plug that USB device into another device and upload it to the customer tenant and all that stuff. So it was pretty a lot of hands-on work needed for that to work from our deploy center. So the idea came from, how can we make the life easier for our friends at the deploy center? And again, this is as well something that came from, first, second line, to go back to what we talked about earlier, to listen to all the lines here. And so we created a tool, just one click and sign on with an admin, as an admin to the customer device tenant, and you will load it directly from the device you are going to run the autopilot on. So we saved 80% time on each device, and on a day you save, or a week or a month, or as it's been 1 year, that's a lot of time. The time adds up. So yeah, and that's, the idea was just to help out, save some time, and we are running it on a lot of our customers. I have got some really cool feedback on the tool from community, to basically, can we do that? Can we add stuff? Can we add tags? What was the latest one? And I have another request from a school in England, and they are using it to provision devices at their school, and they want me to add some other stuff as well, and I'll do that, and that's some really, to me, really a good example what the community is all about, because the product is not mine anymore. It's a community tool, because it's working on all the feedback received from the community. So it's for sure not my tool anymore. Even though you download it from my GitHub, it's not mine. To me, it's not mine, at least. It's a community tool. So yeah, to me, that's really cool.
That's what makes you a community hero, I believe. And that's really nice of you, spending time on creating such a tool. Saving 80% of time, that's a lot, Nicklas. And if you do that for your customers only, then try and think about all the people out there that actually use your tool. If they share the same amount of saved time, then it's huge, I believe. I mean, and the reason why I would use such a tool is that you already own the device, right? And you want to convert that. So in Microsoft's world, when you use the Autopilot feature, it's like you need the ones that you buy the hardware from to register that hash for you.
Yep.
And that's easy when you make a new purchase of a device, right? Or a bunch of devices. But when you own a lot of devices, you can't just go to the customer and say, okay, we need to go to Autopilot in Intune. Yep. You should buy a lot of new devices because you need that hash in the Autopilot service. So no, they have devices, they are working very fine, but we should gather that hardware hash, and there are multiple ways of doing that. But your tool is obviously a very good one to use for this purpose. So congratulations, well done, Nicklas.
Thanks.
That's something. So yeah, really great. So from Autopilot to another blog or publication that you are very proud of, what could that be?
Well, I mean, I have a few posts that I am working on currently. So one I actually did release today is how to use a Azure storage account with MEM, because I believe what we are doing with proactive remediation and all that stuff, what I'm seeing at least is that it's all pointing to we need more from that product. We probably don't need just one detection and one remediation script. We need more to that, and we right now we need to download that, whatever it is, from another storage, some other place, and Azure storage account is really good when it comes to that. So yeah, so that's one, and released today, and in that post I am hinting about a new post I am currently working at. I'm planning on releasing that post tomorrow, I believe, and that will be about how to use proactive remediation to uninstall Google Chrome.
Okay.
Sorry, Google, but we don't need you anymore.
We have it.
Yeah, and of course I will discuss with myself why I believe that Google Chrome is no longer needed. And of course we have some local admins out there, and doing the uninstallation with as a package or as a script. Yeah, it will uninstall it today, but what if the end user installs it again tomorrow? We need to measure that, and that's where the detection script from proactive remediation comes into place, and to use I'm probably giving away too much, but I believe when this interview is released, the blog post has already been released as well, so I can talk about it. We need to make sure that our end users is not working with Google Chrome when we are uninstalling it, because we could just kill the process and they could lose work. So we need to do that in a good way, and I'm using what's it called, PS app deployment toolkit to do that, because it's really good at detecting and install software. Has a really good modules for that. So that's the stuff I am downloading from the storage account, and of course the pop-up screens that will show is really good, user friendly, and so on. So we get a lot of stuff by using that toolkit. So yeah, look out for that blog.
Mm-hmm. And that's released during this week. We will.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, and I guess you will put it on the modern endpoint management site.
Yes,
right?
That will be the first place I will put it, for sure, and the only as well for that matter. To be honest, that's that group and Twitter. It's where I put my stuff.
Sounds really great, Nicklas. I will look forward to see that blog post. Guess there's a lot of other install or applications that would go the same way, like Zoom or installers that actually place inside the application app data, where the user is actually allowed to install, even though they are not local admins. So, and that's the same about the Chrome installation, right? If you're not a enterprise installation, you can also place that in the app data store. So, how do we get rid of those? Your blog posts are going to describe exactly that.
Yeah, for sure. And coming up, I have been so I think Adobe Reader, if you're just using it to read PDFs and sign stuff. In my world, we don't need it. So I believe Adobe or Acrobat Reader DC is going to watch out. There's a post coming off for that as well in close future.
All right.
So yeah.
So no
third
more third party.
Yeah.
So no more patching of that third party software.
I mean, if you have been working with MDE and then you see all the vulnerabilities for those products, it's really bad. So that's where all this come from, I believe. To make sure we don't have that vulnerability on our devices if we don't need it. If we can use the native built-in software like Edge in this case, why shouldn't we use it? So yeah.
I follow along on that one. Why put something in there that you need to patch if you have it already?
Right.
Yeah. So Nicklas, I was about 3 publications from your site. Last question: any tips or tricks that you want to pass on to the viewers? I mean, you already did a lot of good tricks, but
yeah. Well, I mean, watch out for Azure AD Connect, the TLS 1.2. If you haven't enabled that already, please do. Azure AD Connect again, change to a group managed service account. Don't use default standard service account with a password, because you are going to need to change it, and then you never know what's going to happen when you change a service account's password. So group managed service account, really good in that matter. Yeah, that's just from top of my mind. It's really easy to miss, or maybe you push it, put it on the to-do list, but don't put it on the to-do list for too long. And the same goes with basic authentication or legacy authentication for Azure in general, because it's going to be blocked at some point or dropped at some point. So please create the conditional access policies and all that stuff. If you're afraid of enabling it, put it in reporting mode and just view the workbooks, because then you are at least preparing for that change to happen.
That was some really great tips there. It's the central of the heart, right? Going from the AD to the Azure AD and all the identities. So yeah, that was a really, really great trick and tip there, Nicklas. So with that, just want to thank you for taking your time to this interview, and I really hope that the viewers enjoyed this and actually learned from Nicklas, who is just a regular Swede and who likes to blog and do technical stuff, right?
Exactly. And thank you to Matthias for having me and for doing all this. I can just imagine all the time you're putting in. So yeah, good job.
Thank you, Nicklas, and thank you, viewers. See ya. Bye.
See you.